Israelis throughout the country can't stop talking about former Israeli NBA coach David Blatt. The star coach was fired in the middle of his second season coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers. And now the big question on everyone's mind is what will happen to him. Blatt may be jobless at the moment, but a number of NBA coaches say he still has a bright future in the league. Israeli basketball commentator Simi Riger joins us with more. Thanks for coming in and happy birthday.
Thank you, dear.
You're turning 70 today, so this is a huge birthday for you.
Yeah, just a little closer to speaking to God. You know, it'll happen.
That's one way of putting it, but it's cause for lots of celebration.
Thank you.
So let's talk about David Blatt a little bit.
Okay.
Were you surprised when you heard about what happened?
No, I wasn't surprised because the last month or so, ever since the Christmas game that they played against Golden State in Golden State, and they played terribly, even though it was a fairly close game. There was a lot of grumbling going on. And then the next day they flew to Portland and lost to Portland by 30. And when you're on an away trip, you're all together in the hotel and either brings you together or pulls you apart. And it pulled them apart. And, you know, I mean, a lot of it had to do with not having control over LeBron James. The difference between Cleveland and Miami is one person. He's called Pat Riley. Pat Riley's the president of Miami, and he wouldn't put up with the BS that LeBron does in Cleveland. David Griffin, who's a very nice guy who I know, just isn't strong enough to control him.
So you just talked about LeBron James right now. Can you talk to us about what his role was in this happening?
Well, LeBron didn't like David right from the beginning. He didn't give him respect right from the beginning. You know, I mean, you have to understand a lot of NBA superstars, Magic, Michael, Kobe, they all fired coaches. All of them, every one of them. It's just the way LeBron did it. He threw him under the bus in public, and it wasn't very nice. And he got a lot of criticism for it, even by his own writers that he likes on ESPN and thing. I think it was embarrassing. And I know the kid, since he's 15 from five-star camp, he's turned into a completely different person.
But why is that? I mean, why didn't he like David Blatt? What was the issue?
He didn't respect him as a coach. You know, I mean, I don't know why. You know, I never spoke to him about it. But, you know, you could see right from the beginning the body language, the lack of respect in the locker room. And it was a problem. And I'll tell you the truth, David Griffin got on TV, and I was shocked. He said, I was in the locker room of my team for a month or 2 months, and I saw the team. I've never heard of a general manager going into the locker room and sitting there and watching that. I have friends, Hubie Brown and Mike Fratello, they never heard of anything like that. It's absurd, and I guess Griffin was under a lot of pressure. So
where was the management in this equation?
Nowhere.
They were supposed to
absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You know, I don't care what they say, you know, and how they say it. I mean, David said LeBron is the team, but he doesn't run the team. I don't believe that. He runs the team. I mean, it just wasn't a good situation, and it got into a worse situation, and they had to let it go. And one of the problems, you know, which I thought David, I know him, I brought him to Israel in 1981. He played for me up in Haifa and later on in Jerusalem and later on in Hadera. And he's a very thorough person. He's a very down-to-earth, does everything proper, Yesodi, you know, really, really technical person. And he went to the NBA, and he didn't go to first grade. He went to the university. You know, you have to go to first grade first. He didn't know the league. I know it's very, very difficult to say no to like $20 million and being a head coach. But, you know, he could have been David, you know, it could have been the first assistant coach at Golden State and then learn the league. And that's what David usually does. You know, he wants to know. He doesn't want to be caught by surprise. And also his offenses they didn't run offenses. It was just, I don't know if you understand basketball coming from Duke, but, you know, pick and pop and pick and roll and no sets, no nothing.
Well, do you think, I mean, I guess you're saying this, part of this was Blatt's fault in a way then?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, everybody's responsible. The players, the management.
Israelis don't want to think that, you know, about the Israelis' beloved.
The Israelis think I know basketball, and they have no idea that I don't know basketball. No, but I mean, you know, I mean, this is, you know, they really don't understand the game. And you know, people don't understand that the NBA is a different game from Europe and from Israel. Because in Europe and Israel, the coaches are dominant.
Right, we were
in the
talking about this
NBA,
before.
The players are dominating. They're the ones who sell tickets. You know, you see a guy like Messina. He did all the big teams, bigger than David did, CSKA Moscow. He became assistant coach at San Antonio, so he could learn the NBA.
So there's a difference that exists in the Israeli mentality in terms of how you play the game, you know, which is it's a team effort versus, you know, the star being the leader in the United States.
You know, a friend of mine told me once when I came to Israel, there's basketball and there's Israeli basketball. It's two different games.
There you go. That's the first time I've heard that, and I appreciate it. I do. So I heard that a lot of people, there are rumors that David Blatt is actually going to go and coach college basketball now. Is that true?
No. But, you know, I mean, it's a real good thought. You know, if he gets the proper club, you know, the proper university, Duke, Kentucky, Carolina, one of these top programs that he could really enjoy. I mean, you know, I could see him doing it, but I think he wants to stay in the NBA. I mean, I'm almost sure of it. I haven't spoken to him, so I can't really tell you.
He led the Cavaliers to a lot of success, so, you know, you could see him kind of becoming a Coach K of sorts, you know, and doing the same in
Well, it's
basketball.
also a completely different game. But here it's more David Blatt in the university. Why do I say that? Because when you're in college, you can recruit the kids you want. When you're in the NBA, you inherit players. And you really don't have a say in the matter because the general manager has, unless you're a very strong coach, and there are very few of those. Popovich, but then again, Buford also has you know, is the main man there. But I mean, I think college would really be good for him. I mean, the guy's a Princeton graduate. You know, when I coached him in '81, he never heard foul language like that in his life before, and you know, he got used to it, and it's all part of the game. You grow with the game. Every part is a wonderful thing. Basketball is a great game, and that's been his life, has been my life, and it's gone by real quick.
So here's the big question now. Where is David Blatt headed? What is his next step?
Well, from what I understand, there are two teams that are thinking about him. One of them, I understand, is Brooklyn, which with the Russian guy, Parakhov, that also was in CSKA Moscow, knows him from Russia. I think it would be a major mistake to go there. From what I understand, maybe Minnesota. That would be a good choice from there. A very young team. They got 3 kids under 21 that are really good, and he could bring them along. But if I was David, I'd go become an assistant coach for a year or two. There's jobs waiting for him in the thing. He has a lot of respect. He knows how to talk. He knows how to represent himself. He's a mensch.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Happy birthday again. The control room should be playing happy birthday music.
No, it costs money.
Celebrate afterwards.
Huh? It costs money.
Yeah, well, play that. That's one way of looking at it. But happy birthday and
thank you very much
to 120 years.
Oh, 100 like a 20-year-old.
Exactly.